Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Spirit fingers. How are you guys doing today? It is currently 4:51 p.m. and I'm literally about, now it just turned to 4:52 p.m. in case you care. And I'm literally about 4 minutes out from a true crime book club. We just had the live stream today. We just finished it, and then I brought the camera out here, put the new battery. Oh, you know what? I was gonna grab another battery so I didn't have to go inside if I ran out of battery. But I forgot to do that, or did I? Oh no, I did! I brought another battery. It's right here. So I have the battery. We will put this, I have to move all this stuff around. We will put this over here. I'll just put it on this table right here. So we just had a true crime book club. It went very, very well. We discussed Taken Together, the true crime documentary that was on Max. We talked about The Real Murders on Elm Street, which I finished last night. It was fantastic. We talked about the Lawrence Barrier case called College Girl Missing, which was the September True Crime Book Club, and then we also book for True Crime Book Club, and then we also talked about Betting on Lefty, which was the October book for True Crime Book Club. So we got everything covered. We're back on track. So the December True Crime Book Club live stream will be about the November book and the November True Crime documentary and True Crime book. And if you guys would like to know what those are, let me pull them up right now. Book Club books. So the books for November are The Devil Behind the Badge, which is about a serial killer, and The Alyssa Turney Case, which I've already watched that show. And then the Peters Book Club, I just started. I'm still like 5 minutes into it. The Night We Lost Him about Lauren Dave, and then the November book is The Blue Hour by Paula Hawkins, which Tanya is reading, and she said she's having a really, really hard time getting into it. So yeah, so we had a really, really good true crime book club today. I am having my coffee from Cafe Patachou right now. It's not flavored coffee. It is Highlander grog. I was disappointed when I walked up to the little coffee station. So at Cafe Patachou, you get your own coffee there. They have like a little coffee station. So when you walk up, they have like all the cups like on this like tiered thing. They're all hanging there, these glass mugs that say Patachou on them. And then next to it, they have like the Patachou blend, the Patachou decaf, the Patachou blend, which is just like their blend. And then they usually have like a flavored coffee, which usually is like pumpkin spice, coconut cream, blueberry. You guys, I always tell you. But every once in a while, they have just, it's called Highlander grog, which is just one of their flavors. It's not my favorite. It's actually kind of strong and bitter, and I don't love it. But I also don't love just the Patachou blend. So I got the Highlander grog today. Cheers. So that's what I'm drinking right now. And then, during the True Crime Book Club, I actually lit one of these new candles that Andrea sent me. And this is from Humble Abode, which is in Canada. And she sent me 6 of them, and I did a review on my review channel. And this was the first one that I've actually lit. And this one is snickerdoodles and cupcakes. And you guys, it smells so good. So I have that going. This is from the company Ebony and Ivory Candle Company. Oh my god, it smells so good. It smells like fresh snickerdoodle cookies. And then, hey! And then I have the Bookshop in Autumn. I'm going to go in with the number 2 Bookshop in Autumn candle, which did not light. This is like a beauty influencer get ready with me, except for with candles. And then I also have the Maven, which I don't really know what the scent is on this. Maven, Clean Theory. Does it have a time to scan to reorder? I don't know what this candle is. But I do know that I got like 3 or 4 packages from Amazon today. So, and I ordered some Yankee candles because I was like, I used to order, oh, and the mulberry one. Hold on a second, the mulberry. Ooh, that one, like the wick, these wicks need to be trimmed, but oh well, we're outside, so it's not gonna hurt. And then the mulberry sample, this one smells so good. So basically we have like 4 different scents going on right now. But you know what? Let's just look at the pretty ambiance of the candles right there. It's so pretty. The thing puts the lotion in the basket. So that's what we're doing out here. And I'm trying to convince myself to go for a walk tonight. But then the other part of me is saying, just start your walks again tomorrow night. See, when I walk every night, if I take one night off because I didn't walk last night, it's so hard for me because if I take one night off, then I'm just like, just don't walk tonight. And it's beautiful tonight. It's like, it's not too cold. It was 66 when we went to brunch because I have shorts on. I have like these corduroy khaki colored shorts on. And then I have my sand suede colored Birkenstocks. and this hoodie that I got at Abercrombie a long time ago. The temperature is currently, it's actually a beautiful night to go for a walk. Oh, it's 68 and sunny now. It's almost 70 degrees. So yeah. So got up today. I had a hard time. Well, I didn't have a super hard time falling asleep last night, but I kept on waking up like every hour. And then I couldn't like fall back asleep. So I didn't get great sleep last night, but towards the end, I think I woke up at like, I finally woke up. What's going on there? At like 1:30, because I went to bed super late last night. And I watched so much TV last night. So I finally woke up. On Sundays, I usually don't wake up until right before we go to brunch. And Alex actually slept late too. So I woke up about 1:30. But the last time that I got up and I looked at the clock, it was like 11. I was like, yes, I have 2.5 hours left to sleep. So it was nice. It was really nice. But those 2.5 hours I slept super, super deep. But I didn't sleep really that deep throughout the night. I had kind of like weird nightmares last night. I don't know if it was because of the true crime shows that I watched or whatever. So last night, Alex was watching some series on Netflix. I don't remember what it was called. But it was 2 seasons and he finished it. And then he started some Spanish show. So he was watching that from like the time that he got home, which I think was like while I was vlogging, or no, it was right before I vlogged last night because he went to brunch with his girlfriend, then they went to Louis Vuitton stuff. So he got home, I think like right before I started vlogging, didn't he? Or was it while I was vlogging? I don't remember. But anyway, so he was watching that show from like the time he got home until like midnight. And then he started the Spanish show and he watched like 2 episodes and stayed up till like 1:30 or 2. I watched, after I did not walk last night. I was like, I need to take a day. So I took a day off. And I did not walk last night. And I watched... Did we watch anything together last night? No, we didn't. All those candles together smell really, really good. And yeah, I know I still need to put... I need to actually clean out all these leaves that are stuck out underneath the table. And I need to put the new table together. But now I'm like, I might as well just save that table for next year. You know what I mean? But anyway... So I was sitting there, he was in the chair and I was on the couch, and he was watching his show and he has AirPods in. So I watched Found. I think I'm caught up on all of my shows for the week. So I watched Found last night. I watched something else too. I don't remember what I watched. Found. And then I started to watch the 4th episode of Matlock. And then I was like, I was waiting for the vlog to get done. And so when the vlog was done, I talked to somebody. I talked to Tanya for a long time. Then I watched Found. Then I started watching Matlock. And I was like, no, I want to lay down. So I went upstairs and I was like, are you going to go upstairs or are you going to stay down here? He's like, no, I'm going to finish the show. So he stayed downstairs and I went upstairs and I took a nap. Oh my God, my naps, I am napping. My naps are so good. I was like out like that. I'm like when I fall asleep at night. And so I laid down, and then when I got up, Alex was still downstairs, and so I like played a couple games of solitaire just laying in bed, and then I went downstairs, and when I went downstairs, he came upstairs. And so I went downstairs, and then I finished watching, I had 2 episodes of The Real Murders on Elm Street. I thought it was fantastically done. I was kind of surprised today when we were talking about it in True Crime Book Club that it didn't seem like, I mean, there weren't tons of people that were in the live stream, but it didn't seem like most people really like enjoyed it that much. I thought it was really, really well done. In fact, Mel and I were talking before the live stream, and I said, I think it's one of the best true crime shows I've ever seen. I mean, it paid homage to the victims. It told the victim stories. It talked to the family members of the victims. I thought that it was really cohesive true crime and as far as showing the investigation, even where they went wrong in the investigation, where they went right. I thought each story was so completely different, so it kept it interesting. I really, really enjoyed The Real Murders on Elm Street. I thought it was fantastically done. But I'm going to be doing a video about it on my Peter Watches TV channel, probably on Tuesday, because tomorrow is Sister Wives. So, when I finished those 2 episodes, I lit a bunch of candles. Oh, I'm using my fireplace candle melt in the kitchen now. I had it over on the fireplace, but I moved it to the kitchen, so I only have that one open. The other one I haven't even opened and taken out yet. So, I then watched... I think I was behind where I thought I was. Did I watch something else? I watched... Oh, I added The Old Man on Hulu to my list of new shows to watch because I watched the first season. I loved it. Hey, how are you? They got a baby in a stroller and 2 of the cutest dogs, and they're walking. Couple walking. So I watched those 2 episodes, and then I watched something else, and then I watched 2 episodes of Matlock. I wasn't as far in Matlock as I thought I was, so I have just episode 5, and then I'm caught up on Matlock, and I'm going to start watching it every week. It's really, really good. I love it. It makes me very, very nervous, though. If you watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about, because I constantly think she's going to get caught. Like, so she's lying about who she is, and there's like another reason why she's doing what she's doing, Kathy Bates, and so I constantly am thinking that she's going to get caught up. So I watched those 2 episodes. Why do I feel like I watched something else, too? There was like something else that I watched. It was like 1 episode. I don't remember what it was. Maybe I was just watching trailers or something. Oh, I made a list. I started a new list, Christmas books that I want to read. If you guys have good Christmas thrillers or cozy mysteries, not the Jacqueline Frost ones, I already know about that. I got to put that on the list. But I'm going to make a list of all the Christmas books, and then here, like in week of Thanksgiving, I'm going to start reading all Christmas cozy mysteries and thrillers until the end of the year. So yeah, did that last night and then went to bed. What else did I watch? Here's my watch TV shows. You guys, I have watched 164 shows this year. The Real Murders on Elm Street. It's the last one I watched. Did I have 3 episodes or I have 2 episodes left? I only had 2 episodes left, I thought. Yeah, I did. Because I had the Thanksgiving episode and then I had the Halloween episode. Those were the last 2 episodes that I watched. That would have been like an hour and a half. Yeah, that would have been about right. Because I don't think I started watching TV until about 1. And even if a show's like 45 minutes, it's like with getting up and making coffee or tea. And 2 episodes of Matlock. That would have been about right. About when I went to bed. Because I went to bed about... Well, once I turned off my iPad and everything and I blew out the candles, I sat in the chair for a while and I played some solitaire. For like a half an hour. Just sat in total silence. That was kind of actually really nice. I could see the trees. So like from our living room where I sit, you can see like the trees outside and they were like bending. Oh, it was raining really hard last night. I put the plants out there and they got some like water from the rain. And so it was raining last night. Not like at times it was raining hard, but most of the night it wasn't like thunder. It wasn't thunderstorms or anything like that. It was just raining hard. Coming back again, huh? It was like a couple. They just like turned around. But I could see like the trees bending and stuff like that, so it was really spooky. But the Real Murders of Elm Street, like, it actually scared me. It was like one of the first true crimes. I was telling Mel that. She's like, you don't ever get scared by true crime. I very rarely do. But there were cases that I didn't know, and they were all like small town cases and stuff like that. I thought it was really good. That snickerdoodle candle smells so good. Humble Abode. Ebony and Ivory Candle Company. Fantastic. That was so sweet of her to send me those candles. Thank you, Andrea. So yeah, so then I went to bed. And then today I was gonna try to make some videos before the live stream, and we got home. We stayed at the restaurant really late. We were talking to our friends at Cafe Patashu, and so I didn't get home until like 3:25, and then I called Mel, and then we talked for a little bit. Alex went upstairs. He started watching the show, and then he fell asleep. He is like out. We are sleepers. We are total sleepers. So I talked to Mel, and then we were talking so long, as I was talking to her, I looked at my phone, and I thought it was like 5 till 4, because the live stream was at 4 o'clock. I thought it was 5 till 4, but it was actually, like, it looked like it was almost 5 after 4. I go, well, we've got about 5 minutes, we've got to get to the live stream. And she goes, well, actually, it's 2 after 4, and we're late. So, I ran inside, she ran on there, and so we got on the live stream. It was fun. We had a good time in the live stream today, talking about the book. I love the live stream. It's just so much fun to... I mean, there's not like tons of people come in there, but that kind of is what makes it kind of fun. It's like kind of small, you know, and cozy. Small and cozy. But anyway, it was fun. And then, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do tonight. I feel like I really, really, really want to walk, because I think that, like, it would be good to inspire myself to walk. this week, I'm also going to start implementing, because I have gotten back into my walks. Like, my goal was to walk 4 days a week, 4 to 5 days a week, and I've done that this week. So my plan starting tomorrow is to double my water intake, and then also 2 to 3 days a week. Well, I would like to increase my walking. So I would like to walk every day except for the days that I can't walk. Like if I'm like therapy, like if we're going, but now we do therapies in the middle of the day on Fridays. So like if I go to a meeting or something with Tanya, or we go over to his family's house for dinner or something like that, there's like a night that I can't walk, then that would be the exception. But I would like to walk most nights, at least for like a minimum of a half an hour, and I would really like to aim for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Because then I'm also getting in my books and I'm getting in my walks. So that's my goal starting tomorrow. And then I also want to double my water intake. And then I also want to start weightlifting 2 to 3 times a week, because my personal trainer has reached out to me a few times and said, have we started on this yet? So I would like to respond, yes, we have. So that's my goal starting tomorrow, is to do more walking. I mean, I'm proud of myself for the walking that I've done, but that's my goal this week, is to start with the weight training and then continue the walking, and then double my water. So that's my goal for this week. So I'm hopeful about that. Tomorrow, Alex doesn't really have a lot this week. He has a dinner tomorrow night with his girlfriends, and it's not like a spouse dinner or anything like that. So he has that tomorrow night. He's coming home first from work, because I don't think it's till like, I think he said it's like 6:30 or something, 6:15 or 6:30. So he's going to come home first and change and then go to that. But that will probably be till like 9:30 or 10, which is totally fine for me, because then when I get done with my videos tomorrow, I'll just walk. But today, I was like, after I got done with the live stream, I was going to like film like a drama video. I was like, you know what, just take the day off, just vlog, just relax, and which is probably a good reason to walk. So when I get done with this, I probably will walk, at least for like, I'd like to at least walk for a half an hour. And kind of like, I'm not into this Laura Dave book at all. I'm like literally 5 minutes. I couldn't tell you anything about it. So I'd really like to get into it more. Because if I'm more into the book, I know this is going to, well, maybe it won't sound strange to people, but the more I am into the book, the more apt I am to want to go walk, because walking is when I listen to the book. So if I'm really into the book, then I'm going to want to like really like get out and walk so I can listen to it more, you know what I mean? And I do, like, as I'm doing like cleaning up around the house and whatever, and doing laundry and cleaning the kitchen, I do listen to my audiobook, like with my AirPods on, especially when I come back from walking. So I probably will, well, this is what I'll do. When I get done with the vlog, I'll probably render it. So rendering is when you put it together, and then, ooh, they're running. That's what I need to do, is get running. I'll render it, and then I will upload it while I'm gone, and then I'll go walk. And Alex will probably still be asleep, or he'll be watching his show. So, and then when I come back, I'll take a shower, I might take a nap, and then I'm gonna get up. And I think the first show that I'm gonna watch tonight is Sister Wives. And then after Sister Wives, because when I watch Sister Wives, I take notes. So it's fun to watch, but I like to take notes so that I can, like, I know exactly what I want to talk about. If I just winged it, I don't know that I would remember every detail that I would remember about the show. I got to figure out a better way to take notes, though, because my Sister Wives videos end up being like 35 minutes long, which I have so much fun doing them. But I will say this. It's not as enjoyable watching the show, and like, because I'm like I'll watch it like this, and then I'm like, Christine said, and then I'm like, rewind, Christine said this, Christine said, so like, because there's specific things that I want to get like exactly like how they said it. So it's not like, I wouldn't say that's my favorite show of the week to watch. Plus Sister Wives is so boring this season, but it's also like having to take notes. So when I get done with that, then I will turn around here. You know what? I can take Real Murders on Elm Street off. Why do I still have Criminal Minds on here when I haven't watched it in forever? You know what, let's put this down here. Hold on a second. Well, I guess I could just keep it on there. But see, like, all of my shows are watched for the week, except for Matlock, Elsbeth, and Criminal Minds. But those are the ones I'm like, keep on going. When I catch up with Matlock, that'll just be my like weekly show. Hold 1 second. I'm going through here and unchecking these. So tonight, I think the only thing I have tonight is Sister Wives and From. From I love. But what I like to do is Sister Wives and From. But what I like to do is I like to watch Sister Wives and get the notes taken, so I'm prepared for that. My list of videos for tomorrow is already made and sitting next to the computer, so that's all done. What I like to do is get Sister Wives done, and then I sometimes watch that and then take a nap. I probably won't do that tonight if I walk. But then I like to light all the candles, get all cozy, and I watch From, because From is really scary. And then I'm going to get caught up on Matlock. I got 1 episode left, and then I'm caught up. And then I'm going to go in and watch Elsbeth, and that's my plan for this week. There's also a new show on Netflix. Did I talk about this last night that I want to watch? Where is it at? Top 10 TV shows in the USA Today. What is Arcane? Looks like a cartoon. I don't know anything about that. Outer Banks. Oh, Investigation Alien. I might watch that tonight. Has anybody watched The Diplomat? Is The Diplomat good? What are the movies? Any movies that I want to see? No. I'm surprised how many of those. Oh, people told me that Sing the Thriller is only like 20 minutes long, so I might watch that. Where's my list? Oh, Escape at Dan Mora. I was actually surprised that several people told me I really should watch that. People always mention Yellow Jackets to me. I've watched all the seasons of Yellow Jackets. Wednesday is coming back this month. Did you guys hear about that? You know, Mindhunter, I've never actually watched all of that. It's on my list. How much of it have I watched? I've watched 2.5 episodes of Mindhunter. I thought I'd watched the whole first season. I should go back and watch that, shouldn't I? I'm going to put that on my list. Hold on. Weekly TV. Maybe that'll be one of the new ones I watch. Mindhunter. Dan, how do you pronounce that show? Because that's another show that I want to watch. That Dan Mora show. How do you... Investigation Alien. We'll add that to the list. Investigation Alien. There's so many shows I can take off of here because I'm not gonna watch them anytime in the near future. Oh, here it is. Escape at Dan Mora. Escape at Dan Mora. So those are the, okay. We can take off Joan. I'm not going to be watching that anytime in the near future. Fanatical, Anatomy of a Lie. So these are the shows that are new ones that I want to watch. Heartstopper, Sweet Pea. I gotta figure out how to watch Sweet Pea. Fanatical, Anatomy of a Lies, The Old Man, Season 2, Mindhunter, Investigation Alien, and Escape at Dan Mora. Oh, there's another show. What's the other show on Netflix? I just added it to my list. Nikki was telling me about it. It just came out. Don't Come Home is what it's called. That's the other one that I want to watch. And I think some new things. You know what? Let's go through. Actually, Netflix is so hit or miss with what's like new and what's good, but let's go into new and hot and see what they have. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson coming Friday. I could give a rat's ass about that. Okay. The madness. After a media pundit stumbles upon a dead body deep in the Poconos woods, he finds himself framed for the murder of a notorious white supremacist. Oh, that looks like that might be good. Oh, it's got Coleman Domingo in it. I love him so much. Cold case, who killed JonBenet Ramsey? Police missteps in a media circus derail the JonBenet Ramsey murder case. This definitive docuseries chronicles the decades. I mean, that is probably one of the cases that I'm the most interested in. But I read this thing before and it said that if there's a time that they're going to solve it, they're going to solve it now. If there was a time they were going to solve it, they were going to solve it 20 years ago. Okay, they're not going to solve it now. And the mom has passed away. Our little secret, after discovering their significant others or siblings... What? Oh, 2 resentful exes must spend Christmas under one roof while hiding their romantic history. Is that with Lindsay Lohan? It is. Oh, and Kristen Chenoweth. Oh, that looks cute. November 27th, bringing out all the Christmas movies. Black Doves, coming December 5th. When a spy, posing as a politician's wife, learns her lover has been murdered, and an old assassin friend joins her on a quest for truth and vengeance. That looks good. Mary, Mary, coming December 6th. A miraculous conception, a merciless king, a murderous pursuit. Mary's journey to give birth to Jesus unfolds in this biblical coming-of-age epic. Okay. That Christmas, it's cartoon. Well, not, okay. It's an unforgettable Christmas for the townsfolk of Wellington-on-Sea when the worst snowstorm in history alters everyone's plans, including Santa. Oh, that looks cute. The Snow Sister, a young boy whose grieving family has forgotten about Christmas, forms an unexpected heal. All these Christmas movies coming out. Echoes of the Past. Accused of his sister's murder, Yahia is fiercely determined to seek vengeance and unmask the true perpetrator. These are all coming out. They're all Christmas shows. A Nonsense Christmas with Sabrina Carpenter. Tomorrow, what's this one? The series reimagines Thailand in a dystopian future where technology scrapes the surface of the only girl in the orchestra. I mean, nothing that's like, what is Hot Frosty? This looks so cheesy. When a young widow's, I was like, am I over on time? When a young widow's magic scarf brings a dashing snowman to life, can he help her rediscover romance, laughter, and holiday cheer before he melts away? Is that Lacey Chabert? Whatever her name is. Is that who it is? Hold on, let's look. It is! Oh my god. She's still around, Party of Five. The trunk. A mysterious trunk washes up on shore and threatens to unravel a web of secrets involving a discreet matchmaking service. Oh, that looks good. And one of its couples. Buy Now, The Shopping Conspiracy. This subversive documentary unpacks the tricks brands use to keep their customers consuming. And oh, that would be good for me to see, don't you think? And the real impact they have on our lives and the world. Subservience. It says everybody's watching Frozen Ground. Alaskans. Somebody said it was about a serial killer. I might watch that. All of these I have on my list. Look, everyone's watching Frozen Ground, Thanksgiving, which I talked about yesterday, Escape of Dan Mora, Gossip Girl. I'm not watching that. My husband's watched it so many times I feel like I know it by heart. Heartstopper. You know, I haven't watched the season of Heartstopper yet, which is kind of surprising. Lost. I should go back and watch Lost. I mean, there's so many shows. This is my thing. Oh, Prison Break. I do want to watch that. Is Prison Break that good? Is it really that good? Kevin Can F Himself. Don't Come Home. That's one I want to watch. Love is Blind. Everybody tells me to watch Love is Blind. Dexter. Discovery of Witches. I'm a Killer. Mindhunter. Your Honor. I just told my husband today, I said, you need to watch Your Honor. I watched it on Showtime when it was out. The Walking Dead. I wish I could go back and watch The Walking Dead. Yellow Jackets was so good. The Haunting of Hill House was so good. The Accident's on my list. I haven't watched it yet. Murder Mindfully. Oh, The Whale was so good. The Connors. School Spirits. Watched it. Is there a second season coming out about that? Evil. I started it because so many of you recommended it to me. Anyway, those are all the shows. Those are all the shows. Let's see what the weather's going to be like this week. Can you tell I have absolutely nothing to talk about today? Now it's 67 and sunny. Okay. Oh, cool. It's gonna cool. Tomorrow it's gonna be 61 and 34 for a low. I wonder when we're gonna have some snow. I was thinking about that last night. I was like, it usually snows like in November. I was like, I can remember. I wonder when that was. I think it was like my first year I was on YouTube, and I was coming home from a meeting. I used to go to the east side of Indianapolis for a lot of meetings. I was going to like 6 meetings a week. And I went into the meeting and we were supposed to have like light rain. And it was like, I was going to all candlelight meetings. Well, let's just look at the weather really quick as far as snow. Okay. So Monday, 61 and low 34. Tuesday, 52 and low of 35. Wasn't it Tuesday supposed to be really warm? Wednesday, 60, 49. Thursday, 54, 56, 58, 62. Doesn't say anything about... Oh, it's going to be in the 40s next week. 21st, 22nd, 48, 48, 49, 50. No snow yet. I'm ready for some snow. Can I just tell you that these candles smell absolutely unbelievable. So, God, how long ago was that? Maybe I wasn't on YouTube yet, because it was before I got my new sponsor. How long has she been my sponsor? I don't even know. But anyway, it was around that same time that she became my sponsor. Well, anyway, I think it was like a Sunday night or something like that. And I remember I was so freaked out about this on the way home. The camera stopped. It's weird how you kind of look at like certain things you went through in life as being like in retrospect. Like when I was talking the other night about like laying in bed, and I would like, you know, I like put my arm, like I put the blanket, I still do this, the blanket under, and then I like rest my arm on the inside. I know it sounds corny, on the inside of the blanket, and then I like flip my leg out so my one leg is air conditioned. And then we don't have the night lights anymore because we don't need to, and Alex likes to sleep, you know, more in the dark. And so, but you know, we have Boo Radley's blankets down there in his bed, and I just felt so comforted in that moment, like looking down and whatever, and it just was very peaceful. And I'm just like looking down there, and I could see the little guy just being asleep, and I don't know, those were like, during those 6 weeks where he was not doing well, those were probably some of the most peaceful moments to me, where I just felt like I could just relax for a little bit, you know? And I just felt very content in those moments, knowing that he was asleep and he was good. Alex was asleep. We were safe in the house. You know, I do my gratitude list every night. I always talk about the house, and I always say, you know, I'm so grateful for our house and our home, for keeping us safe and warm and protected and cozy. I do feel that way. But it's interesting when I look back on things at the time that, like, I can remember, like, when our heat went out, and we ended up having to take the dogs over to Tanya's kennel. And we stayed at Melissa and Jason's house. We couldn't take the dogs over there because that was Pee-Pee and Tucker and Boo Radley were all alive. And we couldn't take them over there because they had 2 dogs and 2 cats at the time. So, I mean, it was like too much, right? And so, especially with the cats, because our dogs didn't know, you know, hadn't been around cats. So Melissa and Jason were like, well, we had stayed as long as we possibly could in the house. It was starting to get cold. And so I called Tanya, and I was like, she's like, yeah, bring the dogs over here. I'll never forget, it was like snowing outside. There was like nobody on the road. And it was like the wind was treacherous. And like the wind it was like an ice storm had taken out. I think it had been like the night before people were begging us to come over. And so we haven't had weather like that. I feel like we get like one day a year like that now, but we haven't had weather like that in forever. But that night was bad. And I remember it was like Friday, the electricity went out. And I can remember Alex and I and all the dogs were like in the bedroom, because the bedroom is like where the most heat is. And so we were all like cuddled in blankets and stuff like that. By Saturday morning, the heat had dropped in our house, because it had been off since like Friday morning, I think. And it dropped so drastically that it went from being like 70 in the house to like 40 in the house, 45 in the house. I mean, it was cold. And so about mid-afternoon, it got dark really, really early. I think it was in November when it happened. We usually have like one day of really bad weather in November, and then December's pretty mild, and then you think January, February is going to be bad, but the last couple years it hasn't been bad at all. Everybody's saying this winter is supposed to be horrible in Indiana, but they say that every year. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I kind of wish we would get some snow days and blizzard days and stuff like that. I mean, when I'm just sitting at home all day long, I mean, like, for me, that's kind of cozy. You know, read a book, walk in the snow mounds outside. I'm about it. Put on my boots, you know, I'm going to get me some moon boots. I think I have some, actually. I'm going to get me some moon boots for walking, for the snow, you know, bring it on. But anyway... I actually, do you know how those, like, they brought back moon boots and now they're real expensive? I actually had a pair of those original moon boots when I was growing up as a kid. The original pair of moon boots. I loved them. But anyway, and I remember Melissa was like, just come over and we'll watch movies and I'll make a pot of chili and whatever, because they had electricity, but we didn't. Our whole neighborhood, I mean, all the neighborhoods around us were out of electricity and stuff like that. I think we tried to get into a hotel, and like all the hotels were like booked up and stuff like that. So we took the dogs over, because Tanya had, you know, electricity at the kennel and stuff like that. So we took the dogs to the kennel, got them all settled up in her office and stuff like that. And then we got to Melissa and Jason's. It was like not late. It was like I think we got there like 4:30 or 5 or something like that. I remember driving to the kennel, and the roads were like treacherous. It was like the wind. I can just, in my head, I can see us like going over the interstate, and there's like these light signals, you know, like the, what do you call them? The lights, and I can't think of what they're called. You know, the red, white, the red, yellow, and green. The flashing, why can't I think of what those are called? Anyway, they were like swinging in the wind. I mean, the wind was so bad, and the ice was so bad, the ice storms and stuff like that. So we got to Melissa and Jason's, and I remember she made a big pot of chili, and we watched a movie, and they made like a fire and all this kind of stuff, and it was so cozy. And I can remember Alex went to bed because he was like so exhausted, and I slept on the couch with a fan. And I can remember, because Alex is like, are you going to come upstairs? And I was like, no, I just want to like lay here. Like, I felt so cozy, and Melissa and Jason's, their living room and kitchen is like connected. And I can remember laying on that couch, and they have like big windows behind there that look over their backyard. And I could like hear the trees, like just like, you know, I can remember at the time being like, I don't know when we're going to have electricity again. Like, I thought it was going to be out for days. But it was like, in retrospect, that memory is like so cozy, you know? That was like a really, weirdly enough, it was like a really comforting night. And then the next day we got up, and like electricity was on and stuff, and I was like, I want to do this again. Melissa was like, I want to do it again. We went and picked up the dogs and went back home. The electricity was back on. So, but I can remember, I think it was November when it happened. I don't remember. But I was going to all candlelights on the east side of Indianapolis. My sponsor at the time, he went to all the meetings that I did and stuff like that. I was chairing a lot of meetings. There was a candlelight, I think it was on a Sunday night. It was a candlelight meeting on a Sunday night, and the candlelight was from 9:30 to 10:30. And it wasn't like, at that time, it wasn't like a huge meeting. Like, the Friday and Saturday night meetings were pretty big, but like the Sunday night meeting was maybe max like 10 people. Sometimes they would bring guys from this halfway house. So if they brought the guys, it would be like 20 people, but typically it was only like 10 people. And I can remember going in, and when I went in, it started like sprinkling a little bit, but it was actually kind of like, it wasn't too cold. It wasn't warm, but it wasn't too cold. I still don't understand the weather stuff, but while we were in there, apparently like the temperature dropped like 15 degrees. I think it's like real weird. I mean, like, this hardly ever happens. I think that's why it happened that night. But the temperature dropped like 15 degrees, and then like the light rain that was coming down like iced everything. It turned to ice like immediately, like that. I can remember walking out there, like, into the parking lot. We were all, like, standing around there smoking a cigarette and stuff like that. And I can remember, like, one of my friends, like, started to walk towards his car and, like, slipped and was like, oh, my God. And we all were, like going for, it was, like, I mean, it was literally, like, black ice. Well, I can remember going home, and I could go through Indianapolis on all side streets, which would take me like an hour, or I could take the interstate, which would take me like 20 minutes. Well, the specific interstate where you go, where you go, why can't I think of what that exit is called? So if you live in Indianapolis, you'll know what I'm talking about. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But when you go up the interstate, like when you're driving, you drive under the interstate to go north on it. It's 465. So you can't see the interstate, okay? And when you come up, you like come up and round like that. Well, when I got to the top of it, I looked down, and and I couldn't go back at that point. It was literally stop traffic for like, I mean, and this was at 10:30 at night on a Sunday. It was stop traffic for miles. I mean, miles and miles and miles. So that was at like 10:30 at night, and I was like constantly on the phone to Alex. I like had my phone charged, but I was like afraid that like, cause like we were just stopped traffic. I was afraid I was gonna run out of gas. Like I couldn't keep my car running because I was afraid that, you know, but I didn't want to like it not to be able to start again. So I couldn't charge my phone. So I'm like texting Alex, and Alex was like real worried and whatever. Well then, when the traffic finally let up, I mean, it was all these people were like going down like the shoulder of the road at like 60 miles an hour because it finally let up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I mean, we were there for hours. I can remember people like would get out of their car, and as soon as they would hit step out of the car, they would just like, because they wanted to talk to other people. I mean, we were just literally like stopped on the interstate for miles. When people get out of their cars, just like they would put their foot down, they would just, so people could hardly talk, and it was like people were talking through windows and stuff like that, rolling their windows down. Well, when it started moving really, really slowly. People were going up the shoulder, and they were going so fast that they were just like, there was accidents left and right. I mean, it was horrible. And then the exits, a lot of the exits in Indianapolis either go up off the interstate or they go down. So if they go up, you could see the cars weren't making it up the interstate. They would go up, and then they would start rolling back, and then they would just roll to the shoulder. So cars were getting stuck on the side of the exits. And then So I'm thinking in my head, because of the different exits that I have to get home, and I'm like, there was one that's like at Castleton that goes like this. I'm like, there's no way. I'm never going to be able to make it down that one. And then the next one that's like the other castle, that goes off of like 69. The next one that takes is like the Allisonville exit. It goes up, and I thought my car's never going to make it up all the way like that. And so the next one is Keystone, and I'm like, well, that one goes down, but it goes down as a slow. But if you go too fast, you're going to run right into traffic. And I thought, okay, that's probably my best bet, because at this time of morning, there's not going to be a lot of traffic. I think that's what I ended up doing. But then to get into the neighborhood, I couldn't get into the neighborhood. The back gate wouldn't open. My car wouldn't go down here. And I texted Alex, and he like woke up, and I was like, so I called him on the phone, and he was like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm literally stuck outside. He goes, just park your car and walk it. I was like, I don't want to leave my car out here. And he was like, babe, just park your car and just walk it up here. This is so many years ago. This is like 8 or 9 years ago. And I don't remember how I ended up getting, I think I went really, because the road out here is like, it's kind of steep. And I was like, if I go down this road, I'm screwed. Because it was literally black ice. And somehow I got home. I don't remember how. I think I like just totally inched down the road. But it was scary. But it's weird, like, it's like that sinking ship theory. Like, that night, I can remember, like people would they'd roll down your window, and I roll down my window, and they'd be like, are you doing okay? And I'd be like, yeah. And it was like we were all like this common bond and stuff like that. It's so weird thinking back on that. I can remember being on that interstate and being like, God, if I had just taken it through the city, I'd be home by now. But it's weird that we haven't had, like, I remember when I was growing up as a kid, my dad was like, he would hunt in northern Indiana, like he and all of his friends hunt and stuff like that. And I can remember he would always say, because I would ask my dad, be like, Dad, are we going to get snow? And he'd be like, well, northern Indiana gets a lot of snow. But he would say that November 12th was like hunting season start, I think, deer hunting season or something like that. He doesn't hunt anymore. He hunted as a kid. He's never hunted since. But he was like, deer hunting season start, not that I mean, do you, but you know, I'm obviously, as a vegetarian and an animal lover, I'm not pro hunting at all, but I guess it's a personal choice. But anyway, so I can remember him saying that like deer hunting season was like November 12th, and he can remember going hunting like with his like dad and stuff like that, and there and his brother, and there would be like snow on the ground like by November 12th. And I would always think like, oh my God, by November 12th, are we going to have like snow? Well, what is it today? The 10th or the 11th? Today's the 10th. Tomorrow's Veterans Day. So for you veterans out there, families of, thank you for your service. Yeah, so I can remember always thinking like, oh, November 12th, are we going to get some snow? Like, I hope we get some snow, blah, 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 whatever. But we don't usually get a lot of snow. Where am I at on time? Stories, so many stories. When Valerie and I used to go to the casino, because I haven't gone with her in over a year. Hi, Valerini. She texted me. She was texting me yesterday. When somebody would, this was the word that we came up with. I think I invented it, actually, or maybe she did. I can't remember. But when somebody would sit down next to you, and they would always start off this way, right? You'd be like playing this machine, and you'd just be doing miserable on it. I had been like thinking about wanting to go to the casino for so long now, and I haven't gone to the casino. And she's got a walking stick. This is the woman from the Villages that usually rides the bike. She's got this walking stick, but it literally looks like a walking stick that you would like find in the woods, except that on the top it has like the hole with like the leather, you know, stripped through it. And then it has like red reflectors going. I mean, it's like a very serious walking stick. So I know she must be walking now instead of riding her bike. Good for her. I'm kind of wondering if something, I mean, I don't remember ever really seeing him in the winters or falls before, but they usually were in the Villages. But I don't know if something happened in Mr. Villages. They would like announce it. If they did, they would let us know. But I haven't seen him. I've seen her quite a bit, but I haven't seen him. I was going to tell you guys this. Last night, well, the other night when I was walking, which would have been, last night was Saturday, so Friday night when I was walking, I walked that 2.5 hours. So many people have their Christmas decorations up. I mean, when it starts getting dark, you can see, like, you know, inside people's living rooms. So I'm just like walking, whatever, and people have they're putting their Christmas lights out already on the front porch and, you know, the yard and stuff like that. But there's so many people that have their Christmas decorations up inside already. So many. So if you're thinking about putting your Christmas decorations up and you're thinking it's too soon, do not let that stop you. I was surprised how many people had like full-on Christmas decorations. I mean, I would literally was walking by his houses and like, oh, that house is pretty, and full-on Christmas tree in their living room. Lights and everything. And I'm like, I can't, there was a lot of them. It wasn't just like there was 2 or 3. I mean, like in 2.5 hours, I probably saw 10. I mean, and that's not an exaggeration. So I was like, it's just crazy how many people put their Christmas decorations up. I might put mine up. I might start, well, I don't know that I'm putting them all up at the same time, but I might start putting them out a little bit. I don't feel Halloween-y at all anymore. Like I was telling Alex, what did I tell him the other night? I was like, I didn't watch Halloween-wise that I usually watch every year. And I was like, I didn't watch. He goes, well, you can still watch it. I was like, after Halloween, who'd care? So I'm not going to do that. But I was, like, I'm not, like, ready for Christmas yet. But I don't want to go back to Halloween. I'm like in between. I'm looking up trips is what I'm doing. I'm looking up Dominican Republic and Mexico and Aruba and Barbados and St. John and all these places. Actually, I was looking up the Dominican Republic, which we've been to before already. For January, February, just to like go away for 4 or 5 days. It's not too pricey, honestly. I liked the Dominican Republic. Alex didn't love it. I mean, we went to Punta Cana. Just stayed at like a big resort there or whatever. Alex did not love it. I liked it. I'd been there before. Actually, when I was a kid growing up, my dad and my stepmom and I, we went to Puerto Plata, which that was not pretty back in the day. I can remember my dad being like, I mean, it wasn't ugly, but it wasn't like, Punta Cana is gorgeous. Punta Cana is some of the most, I mean, I've been to a lot of the Caribbean, St. Martin, St. Bart's, Grand Cayman. I mean, I've been to some of the most beautiful beaches in the Caribbean. And Aruba I've been to. Where else have I been to? When I was with my dad growing up, I just felt blessed to go to a lot of different places. But so many beautiful beaches. When I went to the Dominican Republic the first time with my ex, we went to Punta Cana, I was blown away. I was like, this is some of the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen in my entire life. When Alex and I went, we went during, it was for like birthdays. We went during like really rainy season. It was red tide. The beach stank. We had a fantastic time. The trip was fun. That was when we met those couples that were from Louisiana. We had a really, really good time. But it just wasn't, the weather was not great. And the red tide was horrible. But, I mean, I was looking at several places last night. I was like, damn, like you can get really nice. I was like 2-story suites for like a third of what we pay to go to Miami. A fourth of what we pay to go to Miami. And all-inclusive, which means your meals and everything are paid for. I mean, probably not the best food in the entire world, but whatever, who cares? So I don't know. We might talk about that and just like pick up 4 or 5 days to go and do that. I would love to do that. I think that'd be so much fun. So anyway, maybe. We'll have to see. I was also thinking it might be fun to go to Vegas just for 2 or 3 days, even though we can't go like to the pool and stuff like that. We could sleep in later. We could walk around. That might just be kind of fun. But, like, Vegas is expensive. I mean, not this necessarily at this time of year, but I mean, Vegas is expensive. But we had so much fun when we went for our anniversary, other than having my stuff stolen. I mean, we had such a good time. I was thinking about that the other day, because I was like, my backpack I haven't bought another mini backpack. I have a Patagonia mini backpack, but I haven't bought a North Face one, and I need to buy one. Last night, I bought, well, I'm going to share with you guys what I bought on my Amazon haul. But I bought one thing in remembrance of my grandmother, Caroline and I's grandmother that went to prison. And I bought Caroline a special treat, too, that I'm going to give to her. That she's been like, every time we go somewhere, she's like, oh my God, they don't have this, they don't have that. You guys have probably caught it already when I've talked about it, but I bought it for her on Amazon, so she'll be real excited about that. But I'm going to do a huge Amazon haul tomorrow, maybe? Probably tomorrow. Because, I mean, I've got boxes everywhere. I got Christmas bedding. I've got the fairy tree door. I've got so much. Oh, my God. I was, like, noticing it's getting dark out here. So many of you loved the lighting of the candles last night. That was so sweet. I really appreciate it. I was, like, talking about how the lighting was so bad, and so many of you were like, no, the lighting's perfect. The lighting's so cozy and beautiful. Thank you so much. I think it's so pretty, too. Look at all that. Hello. Little cozy table. Little cozy table. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I don't really use this anymore. I mean, it's so you can see it's so, like, got leaves on it and stuff like that. I don't dislike it, but it needs to be cleaned out is what it needs to be. I did dishes last night, and then I laid down and took a nap, and when I got up, I was like, I want these dishes away. So Alex was, like, trying to go to sleep, and I was like, it was like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was, like, unloading the dishwasher. I was trying to be, like, real quiet. Do you ever do that, where you're, like, pulling out a dish and trying to be really quiet? What was I talking about? I feel like I just, like, slid, like, 3 different topics. I don't even remember. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're not going to get any snow when it's, like, 66 degrees in Indianapolis, 67. Well, this is the other thing, though. This is the other thing. This is the thing about Indiana. The weather is so weird here. I mean, it can be 67 on Sunday, and it could be snowing a foot on Tuesday. And that's just Indiana weather. That's Midwest weather. You know, it's weird because when I grew up as a kid, I don't remember, like, I can remember always wishing for a white Christmas. Like, that's always been my wish. I just want a white Christmas. And I can tell you that's definitely my wish this year because we're not going anywhere or anything. So I really want a white Christmas. But that being said, like, I don't really remember. We might have had a couple snows leading up to Christmas, but I very rarely remember, like, a white Christmas. I don't, not in Indianapolis. In northern Indiana, probably. But I don't remember having, like, I remember my dad had a medical convention in Chicago, and it was, like, the weekend, like, the second week of Chicago, or the, like, let me look on the calendar right now for this year, I'll tell you, like, when it was, like, the 13th, 12th, 13th, and 14th. So if it was this year, it would be, like, yeah, it'd be, like, the 13th, 14th, and 15th. And so he was up there for a whole week with my stepmom. So I would fly up on, like, a Thursday night. Oh, my God, I loved it. Was so much fun. So we would fly. It was at the Ritz-Carlton. Like, the convention was there. So we stayed on top of the water tower. And so I would get my own room and whatever. It was so much fun. And I can remember watching, like, Christmas stuff in the room, and we would, like, walk all around downtown Chicago. We'd go see him. We used to always, the play that we would go, because my dad loved the plays, and I loved plays, and so every time we would go up there, I got to pick a play, and I always wanted to go see this play. It was called Sheer Madness. I wonder if it still is on up there. Hold on a second. So, like, I would fly up on, like, after school on a Thursday, which is, like, this year it's going to be on the 12th, and then we would stay up there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and come back on Sunday. So we would do all this kind of Christmas stuff and walk all over Chicago. My dad loved Chicago because he did his medical residency there. We lived in, you know, Evanston when I was born, and so he would take us to all the places. And it was just really a fun trip. It was a very Christmassy trip. And I can remember there being snow in Chicago at that time. And I can remember it being really, really cold. My dad would always let me pick. I mean, this is when I was like a little kid. When did my dad and my stepmom start dating? I was probably 8 or 9. Maybe. They got married when I was 12, so probably, I was probably 10 when I started going up. Maybe they didn't start till I was like, start dating till I was 10. I don't remember. They probably didn't start dating until I was like 10. I don't think they started dating until my parents were divorced. And my dad says that they weren't divorced till I was 9 or 10. So that would have been then. So I would have been about 10 years old that I started, because I can remember my dad's nurse at the time, who just recently passed away like 2 years ago. She was his nurse the entire time I was growing up, and so like she took care of me a lot, and like picked me up from stuff and whatever when my mom or my dad couldn't. She would take me to the airport, and I can remember I had this little, do you guys know that brand Gant, G-A-N-T? I had this little like Gant trench coat that I would wear like over a sweater and stuff, and my dad and my stepmom would fly me up to Chicago. And then I can remember one of my favorite movies at that time was It Came Upon a Midnight Clear. I think it was around that time because we had seen it. I'd watched it, that's a whole other story, but we were at Thanksgiving in Florida visiting my dad's fraternity brother, and then I was really sick, and so we were at his mom's house. She lived in like these condos, and so I was in the bedroom like asleep while they were all like out there on Thanksgiving night, and that was on TV, and to this day, like that's one of my favorite like Christmas movies with Mickey Rourke It came upon a midnight clear. The kid that's in that plays the grandson, he's also in the Jacqueline Smith movie, The Night We Saved Christmas. And I love that movie too. But anyway, he's in like a couple Christmas movies. His name's Scott something. He's probably like older than me. But anyway. But I can remember going to the airport and like she would walk me and she'd like, do you want to get something for the flight, like a snack? And I would always get a magazine, and I would also get those Hall's cough drops, just the regular ones, like the cherry ones or the Luden's ones. I like those. But I always associate that with like flying in the winter because I would always get those, and I love those, and those trips were always so much fun. But my dad would always say, you get to pick out whatever play or musical we're going to go see. We'd see like 2 or 3. And I can remember, like, every night we go out to dinner and see, like, a play. And I can remember my favorite was this play called Sheer Madness. And Sheer Madness was, like, audience participation mystery. And it was about, this is so weird that in retrospect that this was, like, my favorite, like, thing. And, like, every night the mystery was different. And so it was about this hair salon called Sheer Madness. Like, they'd answer the phone and they'd go, Sheer Madness, how can I help you? And so it was a real small theater. We used to go to a lot of, like, not off Broadway because Chicago's not Broadway, but, you know, like off like small theaters that we would go to. I can remember we saw the Miss Firecracker contest that they later made into a movie with Holly Hunter. We saw that before it became a movie. My dad, like, he went hiking a lot in the Canadian Rockies, like in Alberta, like Banff and stuff like that. And he would go see plays by himself, like in Banff. Like, I can remember he talked about, long before, like, Night Mother, Steel Magnolias, those were, like, Marcia Norman and other people's plays that he had gone and seen, like, in these small little, like, community theaters and stuff like that. My dad loved theater. So I can remember going and seeing this play, and it was called Sheer Madness. It was about this hair salon, and then somebody got killed. And then they would, like, do audience participation. They would ask people in the audience, like, who do you think did it? Or you got to ask somebody a question. Like, there was this detective that would show up in the scene, and he wanted the audience's help. And I can remember, like, 10 years old, I'd always be like, and I would ask a question, and my dad and my stepmom thought it was real cute and stuff like that. So I can remember we would always go see that. But it's so funny to me in retrospect is that, like, the main character was, like, this real flamboyant gay guy. I don't know if maybe that's why I always wanted to go see it. Maybe I identified with him or something. I wonder if it's still... Let's look it up and see. Sheer Madness play... It says Kennedy Center. Did they play it there? Sheer Madness is a comedy by Paul Portner that has been running longer than any other non-musical play in American theater history. Oh, this is crazy. The play is set in a hair salon where the audience becomes armchair detectives to solve the murder of a concert pianist who lives alone above the salon. The audience helps solve the mystery by spotting clues, questioning suspects, and ultimately convicting the killer. That is so crazy that it's still there. It's Sheer Madness still playing. After more than 17,800 performances, the show has stayed in great shape. Performances are ongoing. Please click here to view dates. And that is so crazy. The John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. I mean, is it other places too? There's a whole website on it. Look at it. Look at it. Would you just look at it? With more than 14,000 performances on the Theater Lab stage at the Kennedy Center, Sheer Madness has been seen by over 13.9 million people worldwide. This wildly popular interactive comedy keeps audiences laughing as they try to outwit the suspects and catch the killer. New clues and up-to-the-minute improvisation deliver a different show every night. I mean, it's like playing like tonight. Unbelievable. I should look it up in Chicago and see if it's playing in Chicago. I don't know that Mercury Theater. Sheer Madness, Mercury. Performance of Sheer Madness on March 14th has been... Where is this? Okay, wait. Oh, it says showtimes. I don't know if this is up to date or not. I don't know how I remember this musical, or this play. Isn't that so crazy? Oh, it is. It's still playing at the Mercury Theater. God, that's crazy. Review, Chicago Tribune. Long-running Sheer Madness back at the Mercury. This is from 2020. Sheer Madness meet the cast. Sheer Madness in need of a contemporary makeover. I don't think so if I'm still talking about it, and I was 10 when I saw it, but I live. So funny, isn't it, that we're so afraid of the arts and things like that, and yet all these years later, this play that my dad took me to probably led to my interest in true crime and reading mystery novels and trying to solve stuff and whatever. And I still remember that from when I was 10 years old, 42 years ago. I still remember a play that my dad took me to in Chicago that we would go see, you know? I think about all this stuff that my dad used to take me, like, to one of my mom and dad's favorite restaurants that was called Diane's in Chicago. It probably still exists too. It was this Greek restaurant. And when they would, like, you know, they would throw, like, the plates and stuff over the door and go, Opa! I can remember doing that, and I can remember Gino's Pizza, Gino's East, and writing your name on the wall. That was, like, one of my dad's favorite places, and we would go to Evanston. And right before you came into Evanston, because Evanston, I think, was dry, there was, like, this bar. It was called the John Barleycorn. My mom, I don't know how I just remember that, but my mom and dad used to go there a lot when, like, before I was born and afterwards. Here's the magical lighting again. But they used to go to this bar a lot. The camera just stopped. I think it was before I was born they went there, but my dad would say, like, they would take me there. They could remember when I was, like, an infant, they would take me there. But at the John Barleycorn, they would have, like, a band playing, like, up front or something like that. And then in the very back, they would have a slideshow. Like, they would have slides going, and it was pieces of art, like famous art. Not like the Mona Lisa, but, like, more obscure than that. But they would just have it constantly going. And, like, people would sit there. It was like, you know how they have today? They have, like, trivia in bars. But it was like they had, what do you call it? I think John Barleycorn is a famous book about an alcoholic, actually. But they would, there she is!
Good night, Peter.
Good night. Are you going to bed? I'm getting ready to go on my walk. She's so cute. She actually kind of reminds me of my mom a little bit. She's like, good night, Peter. But, you know, like how they have trivia in bars, so they would flash, like, all this artwork, like, slide after slide, and then people would have to, like, sit there and, like, be like, oh, it's, like, it's, you know, the Mona Lisa or whatever, you know? And then up front, they would have a band or something like that. But my dad, I can see it. You would, like, walk in, and the bar was, like, all the way down. It was, like, this long, just imagine what you'd imagine, like, a bar in, like, some New York cop show, right? But this was, like, outside of Evanston, Illinois. And it was like this long wooden bar, and then in the back, it was just, like, constantly, like, and then there was, like, tables along the left-hand side. And I can remember there was, like, honey mustard pretzels there. I'm grateful for all the things that my parents introduced me to as a kid that still, you know, I can remember my mom's sorority sisters. They lived on a farm, like, here in town. They had, like, little, like, ponies, and, like, it wasn't, like, a working farm. I mean, it was a working farm, but, like, they weren't, like, selling the animals. They just had animals out there. They had like little, like, a Shetland pony or whatever it was, and they had, like, little pigs. And, I mean, nothing that they were going to ever sell or use or kill. I remember going out there with my mom, and I think that that was the friend that bought me To Kill a Mockingbird to begin with, you know. And I think about all those things in my childhood, from music to books, for going to the library, you know, for just read whatever you want to read as long as you're reading, you know, that, you know, I think about the censorship that my parents had, that they, like, the only thing they really censored me from when I was growing up was that they didn't want me to see extreme violence on movies and TV shows. And I think about, we live in this world today where people are so afraid of everything, and I think that some of those things that my parents introduced me to, as far as, like, music and lyrics and movies and TV shows and plays and farms and restaurants and different kinds of food and different kind of cultures and different people's stories and different people's histories, I think it's those things that have a lasting impression on me today, you know? It's those things that have made the difference in the last 45 years of my life. Really, truly has. And yet sometimes we're so afraid of that, aren't we? We're so afraid of different. And I'm so grateful that I was raised by two parents that embraced different, you know? And embraced wanting to learn about different people's stories that were different from their own. I'm really grateful for that. Well, it's getting really dark, but it's not totally dark yet. So I know it looks that way with all the beautiful candles down there. Look at that. My little altar to coffee down here. So anyway, I'm going to get off here now and go render this, and then I think I am going to go for at least a half an hour walk tonight. No, watch, I'll say I walked for 4 hours. Oh, no, that's not going to happen. But I'm going to walk for a little bit and try to get into my audiobook. So I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Sunday. And our street is so small that 2 cars are coming out at the same time, and one of them has to pull over. That's how small our street is. I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Sunday, and if nobody else has told you this today, I love you guys. I hope that you're getting rested, relaxed, refreshed, and rejuvenated for the week ahead. Somebody sent me something, I can't remember. It was like some meme or something on Instagram, and it said that, like, it's Sunday, get refreshed, and they like were like, oh, you say this or whatever. I thought that was cute, but Sunday's my favorite day of the week. I love to just relax and get ready for the week ahead. It's going to be a great week. We're going to have a good week. Going to be productive and relaxed, and let's focus on the positive this week if we can, right? And yeah, let's focus on the positive, and let's try to put one foot in front of the other. I know that sometimes it's hard to be hopeful, and I think sometimes it's hard to be strong. It's interesting when I think back on like those times, you know, like staying at Melissa and Jason's and whatever, and then like, you know, even just a couple weeks ago with Boo Radley and looking at him sleeping on the floor, and I don't know, I miss the little guy so much, right? I think in situations where I thought in my life that I was never going to be okay, and then I looked back and I thought, well, somehow you made it through. And I think it's important to remember that. Whatever you're going through right now, know that I'm sending lots of love and positivity to you. I love you guys. Lots of love and positivity. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love you.